What's up, everybody? It's the Charlie Atherton Show, episode 5, 426 here. We are almost out of April. Can't wait for the weather to turn and to be a goddamn human again. Starting off today, man, if you're not following Paulo Costa on MMA Twitter, you are missing out. First question I got is, do you think that this guy is right and all that? Do you think this guy is this funny? I've known a lot of pretty boy athletes in my day, and a lot of them are funny just because they could kick your ass and your girlfriend wants to fuck them, so they're funny. But they're not actually funny. They just get a lot of nervous laughs and chalk that up. I'm starting to think this guy's got a good sense of humor. You don't really see it with him in the ring, but he could just be a nervous guy. Somebody that's that good looking, that naturally athletic. You can tell he hasn't really had to work hard for a whole lot in his life, and for him to be that well-rounded and that tapped into the universe, kind of like Henry Cavill, a Jake Gyllenhaal, those guys that just got it all, just make it happen, can do no wrong. I'm thinking it's him. I'm thinking a lot of these tweets are him, especially with how broken the English is. God bless these MMA fighters that got to learn, learn English for anybody to, give him Adidas to give him a call. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of good UFC fighters that don't predominantly speak English, and they'd be a lot bigger if they did. Let's just be honest here. If you can't understand them, communication, advertisement, ask Don Draper's penis. Communication is key. So there's a couple guys, I can't even say half these without going to jail, without getting canceled. But if you haven't taken a look at Paulo Costa's Twitter, if you're on MMA Twitter, you've seen it retweeted and favorited all throughout. The man is meme kinging right now. So we'll see him in the ring again. Yeah, pretty soon here. This is what I'm talking about with this. This is the new wave of selling yourself, just existing. You know how girls post their big ass and their big tits in a mirror in the front living room, and they go, "Oh, I did a thing. Oh, it's sunny today," except they got their big fucking caboose taking up 3/4 of the picture. The Fibonacci sequence could fit 16 times in both of her boobs. It's all about diversion. The Art of Seduction, Mr. Green, he wrote the 10 Laws of Power or 100 Laws of Power, whatever. Robert Greene, he also has a very, wouldn't call it underrated because a lot of it is, subjective. Same thing with Laws of Power, that's pretty subjective too. But he does have a book called The Art of Seduction. Where it's good is how the Laws of Power are good. He uses real life examples of seduction and vanity, and there's just I'm a sucker for things that have been repeatable since the beginning of time. There's truths and arithmetic to this world when there's things that have happened since the dawn of ape. So check out Paulo Costa on Twitter. We got yet another heavy NBA show for you today. I mean, they have just been giving us nuggets and nuggets and nuggets. I believe the Denver Nuggets play tonight, but we will get into that later. Celtics sweep. What'd you expect? Nothing to report. The other games weren't good. It'd be a slow news day, but just a weird lack of production from the Nets. Even the best guys that are out there right now aren't even figuring it out, and I'm the lowest of the low. I'm the pond scum on their ball sack on a July day in the Midwest. I don't know much around here, and so if those guys are befuddled as to why this experiment didn't work, the league is starting to get too smart to put a bunch of stars on a team and expect them to win. That just goes to show that talent is there's a socialism of talent in the NBA right now. The water has risen, and everybody's head is a little bit closer to each other, and you can feel that with the winds of change, with an aging LeBron, a LeBron not winning anymore, Kevin Durant getting exited out of the playoffs. There is a wind of change in the NBA, and I feel it, and it's being led by these old head stars not winning, and these young guys just completely dominating and playing their version of basketball. So we'll see where the Celtics go. They're so dangerous. That home court advantage in the Boston Garden is, they're comfortable there. They touched on it in winning time, even though they just basically called them racist the whole time. But the Boston Garden, it's got an old feel to it. It's got a great, home field advantage. It's probably just like Foxborough Stadium. There's just certain places they got an air to them. The Celtics play awesome at home. Not much to report on that game. If you guys watched it, the Celtics, they kept it a little too close for comfort. I'm like, okay, are we gonna prolong this? Is it actually true? Are the rumors true that the NBA just makes these guys at least get to 5 games to sell some Pizza Hut ads? But it was a sweep. It was a deserved sweep. Hopefully those guys can go home and figure something out. I like that I'm a diehard Pistons fan. I've been a Pistons fan for a couple, come on now. Y'all know I'm old. I'm a big Andre Drummond hater. I always was. I think he is a physical specimen, but he is a shit basketball player, and he is too dumb for the sport. There's no disrespect on his name, but anywhere he goes, he makes every night is Shaq and a fool with him. He's got boulder shoulders. He can jump out the gym. He can physically react and, a great reaction time. But boy, oh boy, this guy's temperament, this guy's basketball IQ, there ain't no fixing stupid. Stupid is as stupid does. Don't sue me, Forrest Gump. If you got a little shot of Andre Drummond on the bench last night, he got pulled out. He got benched, and camera was on him. Dude's up there, palms up, fucking talking to the air. If you can't get it right, it's like getting divorced and divorced and divorced, okay? You carry the same problems with you. You're the same motherfucker you were, and turns out it was your fault the whole time. You just suck to live with. And Andre Drummond probably sucks to live with. So a lot of people on the team expecting good things to happen. That's where this generation has kind of faltered a little bit, is athletes have always gotten that special treatment. Things have always came to them. So when things get tough, you see the difference between a star and a superstar. I feel like there's a lot of people in this tail end of millennial and Gen Z era that when the going gets tough, they don't know what the fuck to do. So we'll see what the Nets do. Could be a cursed organization. Could see that whole team blown up in a year or 2 years' time. That's the beauty of the NBA. Couple guys leave, couple guys come. League will look different overnight. So, if you guys can hook me up, help me out, tell me what you think the future is for the Nets. Do you think they can get past the first round next year or even the year after that? Do they need another guy? Do they need another piece? Do they need to get rid of some people? They got so many assets to dish around. Maybe they're not even worried about it. A quick exit in the playoffs doesn't really do a whole lot for you when it comes to drafts. So we'll see what happens with those guys. Hey, what did we say about the Sixers? I've been seeing the term broken used for the Nets a lot. Reserve the word broken for the Sixers. Because they got scorers. They got people that know how to put the ball in the hoop. And y'all suck Joel Embiid's 8-foot dick every fucking day on early morning radio. I hear you. And I try not copying you. And I don't have to because you're wrong. He's busted up. He's the hanging tower of Pisa. There's no cartilage on any bone in his body. God has nerfed the man. And we're watching that happen. A lot of guys play hurt during the playoffs. It's just what you do. There's always stories of people coming out that, they played on a torn ligament or a bum knee or something. It's already came out that Mr. Embiid has, he needs surgery on his thumb. So he's playing hurt. You can't keep feeding him. But if you're only a one-trick pony and you got a guy as smart as Nick Nurse, you're gonna get exposed. And they did. There's a lot of clips. That's where these podcasts suffer. That's where, places like Barstool even suffer. If Barstool had clips, you wouldn't watch ESPN ever again. You know what I mean? But these TV rights are a long ways away. That'll be, how fair use was for the internet, that the next fair use for cable companies, which God knows when we'll see that. I could have, even grayer hair by then. We'll be curious to see. There's tons of clips out there of them just completely hunting and dismantling Embiid in the post. He's only got about 40 square feet to hang out. He can hit it from behind the arc, but that's not where you want him. He's most valuable down low. And all these articles and hot takes coming out about how the big man is back, that's where he's going to be. He's going to be a big man. So they got him figured out. As you could see yesterday, not even the most talented, most physically, they talk about his physical dominance. That's where the big man, being a big man, comes in. That's why you got big in front of your name. They're all fucking big, but this one's bigger. They danced around him. They kept him in trouble. If the whistle isn't going his way, he's down at least 5 to 10 points. That wasn't happening for him. Harden, he's scoring about as much as, Derrick Rose in his, what are we at now, 12th year, 11th year, something like that. I give or take 2 or 3 years. But he ain't playing like the chicken wing stripper Harden that we know. He's just playing like a really good, role player right now. There's rookies putting up more numbers than him. His efficiency, still there. His touch, still there. Foul merchant, still there. Never knock a guy for being a foul merchant. That takes a lot of skill, especially at that high of a level. That's still there. But getting into the 30s and 40s where you need them, Embiid scores 30, Harden scores 30, 25, something like that. It's 3/4 of your production, pretty close to it. All you need is Maxey to get a couple buckets. You need, you need your second guys to get in. Why can't that be done? Why can't that be done 4 times in a row so you guys can rest up your aging stars? They got bandages on them. It looks like the fucking Monster Mash out there. Everybody's got wrap on their knees and fingers. And this younger, lack of identity Toronto team is coming in and absolutely, throwing you for a loop. 3-2. Gross fucking series score because things could go south real fast. So that's another one to keep an eye on. You go to the dentist, they say, this Tucson watch, it will fall out of your head. I am going to charge you out of your pocket to fix this, or else you will be in pain and yell at your wife every night. So keep an eye on that series. Toronto ceiling, if they did come back and win, who knows? I never count them out. They're their own nation. They got a nation behind them. Nick Nurse is brilliant. Brad Stevens the second. I don't know where they'll go. Maybe not past the next round, but that'll would anybody in Toronto be upset with beating the Sixers and going on to the next series? Maybe their draft pick, but they're already here. They wouldn't be playing if they didn't believe it. Well, Luka doesn't look hurt. Talked about how hurt is Luka? Last episode. How much can these guys play hurt? Will be the narrative going into the second round, because you can already see these guys fading pretty hard. And I don't want to see anybody sit in the playoffs. Nobody wants to see that. Literally nobody. So we'll see if these guys can, if they can keep it up. That I understand live on air right now, I got a little light bulb. I don't know if you audibly heard it in my voice, but that's why it's okay if you can sit these guys the first couple of games. That's a good stretch of time to get them rested up for this, for the longevity of the playoffs. But at this point, once you get to the second round, which will be coming here pretty soon, It's go time. There's no slowing down. People are ramping up. So the Mavs, you can tell Luka's got a little bit of the Trae in him, Trae Young, where he thinks his teammates suck. He know they suck. He knows they suck. And when they start missing, he starts missing too. He starts clanking. He starts, hucking it up there, taking the right thumbstick and twisting it around, getting all those little fucking herky-jerky spinny shots going, and he makes them. But I think he needs to trust his teammates a little more. Maybe his coach told him, they start missing, you start fucking firing, clean up their slack. But these guys, these Jokic and Luka, they got a little bit of too much. I'm the fucking workhorse, and I'm hurting out here. That's a young guy thing, You don't realize in your young years how much of a prick you look like, when you're outclassing guys, grown ass men with salaries and budgets just like you, with wives and kids, and you can't underestimate the intelligence of an old dog. You just can't. You might be out of touch, but we know a thing or two, I promise you. So another it's all going to depend on the injuries. It's going to depend on the health. One thing I noticed, and how I would expect the Jazz to be a little bit closer than, where they're at, the Mavs' pace pushes and pushes and pushes, and like we were just saying, there's a lot of opportunities for misses. The Jazz don't necessarily capitalize or counterstrike on those misses, because every Mavericks game I've watched, there are very small lulls, where there's very quick back and forth possessions, and the Mavs, miss 3 in a row, 4 in a row. The Jazz aren't picking those up, kicking those out to the corner, kicking it down low and getting a quick foul, or taking it down low and then kicking it up to the top of the key for another 3 or an extra pass. They're not doing any of that, because I don't think they're missing a Kennard, you know what I mean? They're missing a J.J. Redick. I might be dating myself on these examples, but they're missing another guy that they can kick it out to and knock it down. They got Bogdanovich for that. I get it, but they're treating him like a fucking, like a starting 3. He should be just a corner Steve Novak, white guy, elbow up, knock it down, but they're treating him like he's fucking, Bruce Brown out there. Which I think he's a little misplaced, a little misrolled right now. So we'll see where that goes. Battle of the suck down there. If the Mavs were playing a little bit better team, they'd already be out. Just goes to show a testament to how good Mr. Luka is. We'll keep an eye on that series. Who do we got tonight? Let's take a look here. Pardon my stutter. Heat and the Hawks tonight. I old man, talk about a lack of a fucking sports show. I thought that series was over between the Heat and the Hawks, and it probably is tonight. The reason I thought that is because I won a fat stack on the money line of the Heat last time. It's at home in Miami tonight. What do you guys think's gonna happen? Do you think the Hawks go in there, get this to a 3-2 series? I'll change my fucking tune. The Heat, they're hiding their limp a little bit better than a lot of these teams out there. Kyle Lowry probably isn't feeling the best after his leg injury the other night. Jimmy Butler, he's a goofy motherfucker, man. You want to talk about a weird cat. Dude looks like Thrax from Osmosis Jones. And anybody that looks like that, how the fuck could you trust him? Just depends how he's playing tonight. You might see him empty the tank a little bit so his team can get a rest. If Jimmy scores over 30 tonight, I got a Heat win. That'll cover up Trey's deficit there that he would bring to the team. So if the Heat can get one guy over 30 points tonight, whether it be Hero, Jimmy, or Pair, hero with another star and have them both over 26 points, I would see this easily being a Heat win tonight. The Hawks, they just ain't it. If Trey played a different position, he could carry that team a little bit better. But how did the Warriors look a couple years back when they stunk? Or even this year, last year, when they had no capacity for players. They just had Steph Curry out there. And he wasn't able to carry, they were barely a 9 seed, barely a 10 seed. They look gross. It's because you can't carry a team as a small man, as a skinny fellow. Prove me wrong, give me an example, but it's hard to carry non-physically. LeBron could carry his team. We're talking about a different era of basketball there, but he could carry those players, on the Cavs back in the day because he was so physically dominant. He people respected him when he was close to the basket. He could dish it out, and he's also the best passer in the NBA right now, currently maybe top 3. But when you're a little guy and you're a skilled player, there's only a couple dimensions you need to be covered. And if there's a fast guy on you with a hand in his face and you're missing, you're dead in the fucking water, my man. You don't got your big ass shoulders to rely on or to bounce down there and be faster with and bang with the big men down there. So it just proves my theory. If you're under a 190, you can't carry a team on skill alone. Trey needs some help. He needs some more players. Look for the Heat. I'd be curious to see what the money line is even tonight. I bet a lot of people are in favor of the Heat. If that is anything close, to minus 100, I would be absolutely shocked. Another series that I have just absolutely disrespected on the Charlie Atherton podcast that is on tonight at 7:30. I'm not liking the 7:30 starts. You can go bang, 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 1, 2, 3. I told America, I told the world, I'm not staying up for the Suns. And they're just not that fucking interesting. The series is tied 2-2. You know why? Because Devin Booker's hurt. It's A plus B equals fucking C shit. There's no big narrative here, and the stars are kind of boring, okay? I've seen Chris Paul go around the block every fucking time. I remember Chris Paul when he had hair. These young guys that I watch, when I really started keeping a close eye on the sport, they're all becoming men now, and watching them act like men makes me want to fucking vomit. Karl Anthony Towns, who probably wears his mother's fucking wedding dress and hangs himself and jerks himself off when he sees his dad go to work. He's trying to act like a grown-ass man. He's ripping off Kobe lines. Be yourself, dude. Fucking quote anime or something, whatever all you goons do now. But all these guys are trying to walk out there and be like, I'm not satisfied. I'm not, Of course you're fucking sad. This is the farthest you got in the playoffs. You're playing amazing in the fucking playoffs. Of course you're satisfied, all right? You're not a killer. You're not Kobe. Be your version of a killer. Be fucking weird like Jimmy Butler. But these guys, who's the Brandon Ingram? Fucking Chris Paul's got enough money to get you killed 10 times. Chris Paul will have a guy waiting in your fucking winding driveway up in the Beverly Hills with some heat pointing right at you, and you won't even feel it. You'll leave your kid crying in the back seat. You know what I mean? And you're face to face with one of the league's best, the stepfather of the league. That's a stepfather that you don't mouth off to. That he fucks your mom, and then he drives you to the grocery store, gets you a game, and tells you to rake the fucking leaves in the yard like a real stepdad. Brandon Ingram getting in Chris Paul's face makes me sick, man. I'm turning into an old head, but these young guys, the new flavor of Moxie, just sucks, man. It just sucks. I wish when a guy was a guy, and by that ain't political. You can be whatever you want to be in this world. God bless you. But I miss the flavor of man that used to exist out there. So Karl Anthony Towns, basically a boxing match with John Morant. I love the young talent. The Timberwolves keep a good pace, a lot better than I think they would. They make a lot more shots than you think they would. If they didn't, you'd be like, oh, well, this team sucks, clearly, for good reason. But for some reason, these guys in this starting lineup hit their shots. So much respect to the Timberwolves. I would love to see them win a series just for the brand, just for the small market. The Grizzlies, they got John Morant. If you get a lottery pick, and it turns out to be, you know what I'm saying? I was gonna use an analogy and I'd probably go to jail, but it's John Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies. It's Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell's weird ass, and the Timberwolves. A little bit more well-rounded than the Grizzlies, I would say. Oh, I'm completely disrespecting played for Michigan State. He's stretched out. He looks like a gorgeous Egyptian god. I can't think of his name. He's the big four guy. He looks like a Slenderman, but he's actually built. Battle the Long Boys. I am going to probably watch this game, and I think the rest of America is going to watch this game over the Hawks and the Heat tonight. I'll get the little methadone going with the Hawks and the Heat, but I'm going to want to watch the Timberwolves and the Grizzlies. The nightcap tonight, unfortunately, the Pelicans and the Suns, 2-2. We got a lot of tied series out here. Fundamentally should be good entertainment, should be, great sports stories, but, pardon me, I don't know. There's something about, and it's probably just a me thing, but there's something with certain games I like the fight. I like the benches clear, and I like the guys John. I like the coaches, even I like how coaches do some snide ass fucking coaches. They talk shit like guys outside of Walmart. Like they know they're outside, they know they're not inside anymore, so they keep their distance. And then they cross their arms, they smirk, and they walk away and they go, "There's no fucking way I'm wrong in this argument right now." So there's some, I like the teams fighting sometimes. I'll take a fight in any sport. You should be able to fight in any sport. But there just some of these, it's got to go back to the corniness. The Pelicans and the Suns, probably one of the more chippier series in this playoffs. Why are you fighting? What do you guys got to win? I like the chippiness when it's a good team and they're like, you know what, fuck you. We're not taking your shit. I don't care that you're so-and-so. He can't guard me type of stuff. That has its place or whatever. But the Pelicans and the Suns, look at the scoreboard. Both of you guys, both student sections going scoreboard. Even Steven tied up. No Devin Booker. Rally the troops, Chris Paul. Quit John with the Young Bucks out there. Like I said, you can pay to get them killed. They don't know money like you. They don't. Brendan Ingram, I respect you. And, I give these young guys shit, but you got to go up there toe-to-toe or else they're going to walk all over you. And the torch has got to be passed at one point. I think Chris Paul's timeless. Pure efficiency. Probably a future NBA coach there, depending on, if he wants to jet ski or not. We'll see what these guys do tonight. I'd love to see, the Heat take it. I don't want to see the fucking Hawks play another basketball game for 365 days. Timberwolves and Grizzlies. Timberwolves are a little bit more well-rounded, but, we'll see what Ja and guy that I always forget. I'm looking up his name right now on air because I'm sick and tired of disrespecting this man. I've disrespected him 2 straight episodes now. He had a great series with stand with Tom Izzo and the Michigan State Spartans. Who we got here? Where is it? Jaren Jackson Jr. Now I don't have to derail the show anymore. Great player and amazing physique. That's how I would imagine every basketball player to kind of look right there. So there's some good players on each team. That's a good matchup, TV wise, right there, and skill wise. It's not lopsided. There's nobody crusty. I like two fresh new teams off of two small markets playing each other and performing well and keeping it close. That's good basketball. That's good for everybody. Everybody wins. Let's picks here for all three teams. Heat to sweep. Timberwolves to steal one at home. And the Suns ain't bad. You don't win that many games being a bad team. I think Cinderella, clock strikes on Cinderella a little bit here. Not that the Pelicans are a Cinderella story at all, but I just disrespect them. I disrespect the Pelicans. Brendan Ingram has been quiet for so long for a reason. It's a small market. They're playing without Zion. I get it. Do I think it'd be that different of a story? I forgot how Zion played fucking basketball, okay? If you want to see him play, buy a ticket to a Pelicans game. Watch him warm up. That's the only footage on him. But I don't know. I got the Suns tonight. Maybe the Suns get it right, prolong it a little bit. It'd be a shame to see all those wins go to waste. Devin Booker to be, sitting at home with his hot fucking girlfriend. This is definitely the slower night of the on and off nights of the NBA playoffs. So we'll give it a watch tonight. Let's see what we got. Nothing else. It's going to be a short one today. I appreciate you guys tuning in. We're getting a little bit better. I want to be good, but it's going to take a while. So get a little bit of an off night. We'll see how, the game to watch is a 7:30 game. If you're still interested in the Suns, you guys are young and you can stay up late, but I appreciate everybody listening. Kind of a shorter episode today. Remember to follow me, Charlie A Podcast, on Twitter for everything. Twitter is the hub for me right now. We're going to get that moving a little bit later, but I will see you guys tomorrow.